All right, what's up? What's up? Anyone? Everyone? Let's see how far this one lets me get. I have a feeling I'll get a little bit further, but we'll see. I don't want to speak too soon. Let's call on the trusted angels, trusted ancestors only as they come into my space as I read for whoever watches Cosmic Dialect. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. Intense couple of days, so I've been taking a break from tarot. But I have kind of hopefully a little shorter to see if I can get through it without any interruptions. All right, so let's start out with what I have written down in my notes. There's a difference between facts and ego. Okay, there is one, and it's okay to have private conversations about your facts, or open ones, okay, if people want to listen. Oh yeah, Ivan's here. I know everyone loves Ivan. He's here doing his stuff. He's getting comfortable, okay? If people call your facts ego, it's a perception and or reflection of their own insecurities and or weakness, or both, okay? 1, 2, 1 as I look at the clock just now. You may feel like you're taking a step forward, but at the same time taking a step backwards, which is that good old-fashioned saying. There's a few ways to say that, where you have to pull an arrow before it shoots. So you kind of do have to do like this like waltz, this life dance where you take a step backwards and forward, blah, 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 blah. You know, 1 step back, 2 steps forward type of thing is what that gives. 1, 2, 1. 1 step back, 2 step forward. Okay, so I wrote down knowing the benefits of knowing and owning your shadow self. So for anybody that has been through hard times and whatever you do or in your life, whatever your life has coached you into knowing about yourself, everybody's will be different, but a lot of ours are the same at the core, right? At the core, it's all about surges of dopamine and serotonin at its core. But that will look different for most humans. So knowing what injures or tampers with or, plays with your regular surge of dopamine and serotonin. And that's going to be hard for us to even clock anymore, because with the use of technology, it's like so intense. So that is going to play a lot into what that means for you, okay? Knowing and owning your shadow self, it turns weaknesses into strength, okay? And not always, like it may look not that way to people around you, but like that's why they say, you know, confidence is everything. Because it is, like confidence will create a surge of energy around you that tells people that you are to be trusted, and that is like for real. If you trust yourself, if you love yourself, you're confident, and so therefore others should be as well. And it's respected, it's seen, it's like an animal sense. It's almost like a sixth sense. People pick up on that and they're like, oh, okay, this motherfucker has King of the Jungle vibes, then we will give that. But also like sometimes it is attacked as well. Like it will be attacked as well. So but also, at some point, let's keep going, okay? Alchemizing projections, okay? So there's a lot of projection energy coming through, just as a whole on a macro and a micro level, where people are just projecting their weaknesses. And, you know, the typical calling you what they are at their core, or like saying this about you when this is what they do in their private life. And maybe they know you have a smaller support system or something that makes you vulnerable to outside sources or forces or whatever. Something that makes you vulnerable, but also it's a strength. It's actually a strength. And the sooner that we can learn to alchemize this quote unquote weakness into a strength of ours, and learn from it as like a teacher, the sooner that we can get better at like these mind games, like mastering these tiny mind games that we go through in life, okay? And again, that can mean anything. A lot of it, okay? it becomes second nature after a while, and it can become so second nature that it starts to freak people out, okay? Because like the sooner that could become second nature, your quote unquote weakness, and you kind of like, I don't want to say like shaking hands with the devil, or what's the saying, or like you're shaking hands with, you're just like looking at your bullshit and shaking hands with it, and you may do that over and over again throughout your life, which is recommended. You don't just want to do it once and then you're like, well, that was a good handshake, that was a good conversation with my forever haunting demon creepo shadow that will follow you. We have, it's like it follows you everywhere. Like, just think of like very practically what your shadow is. You cannot get rid of it. You stand outside in the sun, you have a fucking shadow. Like, it follows you everywhere till the day you die. I'm not trying to like, that's not to be like dreary, like you can't master it, okay? But there are people that don't even realize they have a shadow element to their personality. And that's because they live purely out of ego. They never self-reflect. They have no capacity for truth, like speaking truth to their own self, let alone someone else speaking it to them. So if you deal with that on a regular basis, I apologize, because it's incredibly frustrating to deal with people like that. Trust me, I know. Learning from mistakes, this is big. Learning from your mistakes as opposed to shoving them under the rug, where they grow into monsters, okay? So you can shove this, you can shove it under the rug where it will grow into a giant monster. And that's when you see really scary stuff happen, especially if there's any mental games involved with people that have like they're really highly manipulative and skilled at manipulation tactics, that have these scary monsters they've shoved under the rug, combined with like being heavily manipulative, can create very dangerous monsters. And just, we've all seen them throughout history, or even in our own family lines. Depending on the severity of traumas over extended periods of time, and depending on that person's mind, again, like their personality type, if they have a personality disorder, if they have borderline, if they're bipolar, if they are antisocial, aka psychopathic, if they're sociopathic, people that are highly skilled liars, combined with trauma over extended periods of time, can create really scary monsters. And we'll see them in politics often. I think the amount of psychopaths in politics was like overwhelming, or like CEOs that were like sociopathic, like, and I'm not gonna talk about politics right now, okay? I know there's a strong tingle of like, there's like a weird surge or like need or want for creatives out in the public right now, or in the world, to talk about the conglomerate of fuck shit that we are experiencing on a daily, okay, to either ruin your reputation or to clock you as being a certain way. So don't give in to that, please, because you already know what time it is, right? Which, it's fuck shit time. It's been fuck shit time for pretty much our entire lives on this earth. All right, so okay, even people like that, they can still, well, I'm feeling a weird tug on that. They can still master their shadow. Yes and no, okay? It becomes increasingly harder to do this. As you get older, I can tell you from my own experience and with my own shadow stuff, it does, 100% it does. You get more tired. You get way more tired, and you're tired of fighting this, because it's your own self. It's your own reflection that you're fighting all the time. Whoa, confirmation. Wolf of Wall Street just came out. Okay, so there's some, oh, go! When Matthew, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, he does that whole scene. Ooh, go! Hella funny scene, by the way. And that's based on a true story. So stocks, people that are investors, that think they're super smart, and maybe they are really smart, but also it's kind of too smart for their own good, right? That's a really good example. Wolf of Wall Street, that's a really good example of people that are just like fucked up and like dealing with all this, but also highly manipulative and really good at like being criminals. Okay. Yeah. Okay, it becomes incredibly harder to fight that battle over the course of time, and time always does tell. Time will tell what's going on over the course of time. It's always easier and easier to clock what the hell is going on, because your surroundings will start to show you, especially if you do like internal work and you look at your own shit, because you will get better at not reflecting your noise onto your surroundings, and it will become easier to differentiate between your noise that is yours and your environment. Knowing when it is your ego. This is also really important. Knowing when it is our egos. Knowing when you might have your tail in between your legs and are purely, and I repeat, purely acting out of ego. And then I wrote down, well, people who fight for good and keep going, right? The resilience that we see in characters like MLK or Malcolm X or 𝐡𝐻 or people like that are just like fight until the bitter end, until they are taken off this earth. And then a ripple effect is felt throughout human consciousness, because people are not stupid. Okay, at the core of it, that's the beauty between artificial intelligence and humans, is that humans, we have that. If what I just mentioned, if MLK, Malcolm X, and all that was all robots just acting on robot knowledge, they were taken off, I don't think they would respond. I mean, maybe. This is where it gets weird, right? With artificial intelligence and humans. It's like, well, maybe. If they've learned enough human intelligence at that point to react in a way that humans would, maybe it would be different. But that's kind of where it gets scary. And that's why it's really important for humans to be like mentally correct, so we can teach these computers how to act and how to be, because that's going to be really important for the longevity of things, because artificial intelligence cannot be stopped at this point. It's happening no matter what, between all nations, between everybody, everywhere on this planet. It's happening. It's been happening. So the more that we can be open about who the fuck we are, what we are, what we experience, how we feel about it, and stop masking shit, projecting our own bullshit onto other people, the sooner that robots will learn what that is. Okay, so we need to create that ripple effect real quick. Like every time you talk to ChatGPT or whatever you're talking to, make sure you include your extra human component as to why you're doing that, why you're entering that information, why you feel that, all the human stuff is very human. Okay? It is. What we're doing is very human, and now it's going in not so much that way, because our jobs are being taken over by robots and stuff, so things are becoming less human and more transactional. And so if we want a transactional earth, which we have told the earth that that's what we want with going on with all this, or people, well, that's complicated. I'm getting into a very complex realm. Okay, we're at 13 minutes about. Let's get into the cards. I wanted to do more card stuff today. But okay, so people who fight till the bitter end and keep it going, is this ego? Is basically where I was going with all that. Is that ego? Where someone knows what's the difference between right and wrong, based on the betterment of humankind, based on cruelty and human rights, civil rights, and they fight for it. I wrote down yes and no. That's the beautiful dance of where ego is a good thing. Because I think commonly on these tarot channels and the spiritual communities on YouTube, ego is like commonly thought as something we need to combat constantly. Yeah, it should be something that is not like bigger than ourself. We should look at it as like something that needs to be checked every now and then. Like, check your fucking ego, dude. Like, why are you doing that? Like, do you even remember anymore why you're acting this way? Or is it just pack mentality? Like, why are you doing this after all? And if it boils down to something that is immoral and not okay, that's where ego is getting very sour. But if you can check your ego, this is a really nice example of where ego is a good thing. Because people that keep fighting, that is ego and their just soul, like dancing in tandem for what they know in their brain, in their heart, and ego or whatever differentiates all of that, is working like in tandem in like a beautiful way that helps them it almost gives you like a stamina in a way. Like you keep fighting because you have this stamina, and your ego is helping with that. So that is something that we can look at in a positive way about ego. But although, like, let's not forget to check it. But I I also wrote down that it's sometimes profited from after when people are taken off the earth and it's finally felt in human consciousness. For the people that are working at the lower vibration of ego, they will start to profit from this, and they probably knew from the get-go that this would be the case. So I don't know how you combat that. I don't really know. I'm still learning as I go as well. So 1505. So that's it for my notes for now. Okay. Let's get into the tarot cards and see what. I'm happy my video is letting me talk today. That's nice. Okay. Let's see where we get with the cards, okay? Let's start off with this deck. Trusted Angels, come into my space. King of Cups upside down. Ugh, that's been coming through a little bit, the King of Cups. I'm not going to pull his ass. Cosmic Dialect Tarot. What do we have for the people that watch? What do we have? A Two of Wands. I don't know. Eight of Wands. Giving a little bit of what I just talked about, like emotionally manipulative people with crazy ideas, and yeah, Ace of Swords upside down, like weird, like agendas that are not for everyone's good, for their pockets. It's for the pockets of themselves and them and their family and or their lovers. Yeah, Four of Cups, where it will upset everyone in the long haul. Yeah, Two of Wands upside down, power tripping. Cosmic Dialect. What do we have today? All right, let's see what comes out in the cards. What do you see my table? We have the Two of Wands character on the bottom of the deck. Maybe I should take him because we're coming out with this power tripping. The Devil. Okay, we're taking it. A Three of Swords. Okay, hold on. Let's keep it going. I'm sorry. When the Devil, it's like when you see Death Clawed or Devil Clawed. Death Clawed, Devil Clawed. When you see that, when you see those come out, I'm like, I can't ignore them. Double D. Interesting note. Okay. Double D's. The pornography, I don't know, okay, sex industry could be involved in something. Knight of Swords. Oh. So Two of Wands upside down. We have a power tripper working out of obsession that might be using technology. Knight of Swords is my technology card, even though it is the card of like information exchange, fast, like transactional stuff. It also for me gives heavy technology vibes. You could be dealing with a Capricorn person. You could be dealing with an Aquarius, Gemini, Libra person. You could have that in your own chart. Or a Leo, Aries person, or have it in your own chart. The World card. Confirmation on Saturn, Capricorn, and Aquarius coming through. The Chariot. Cancer, perhaps. I don't know. This is happening on an international level. This is happening on a world stage. Could involve like car, auto stuff. Well, what can you tell me about this technology shit that's happening? Happy? Well, that's the first time I've heard. I like this word, happy. Let me catch my words. A Five of Cups upside down. Can we say happy? This is the unaliving yourself card. This is the depression when it's this way. Okay, what is happening on a world stage or that is happening internationally that can make the collective that watch Cosmic Dialect happy? The Tower upside down. We love this. Tower upside down, people, welcome. Five of Cups upside down, people. I will not be surprised if you get Judgment upside down. These people that could be heavy Scorpio or have Scorpio in their chart heavily, maybe Aries. Or a lot of Martian energy in their charts, heavily aspected, or I don't know. There's a lot of Martian energy going on right now with the planet of battle, war. Same with Saturn. Saturn and Mars have a history of not getting along too well. And we could play that on a world stage if we'd like. But they are both planets of just like conflict. One's a little grumpier than the other. One is highly, they're just both, conflict, disagreeing, not so much. Mars is just more so just like battle, good at fighting, good at longevity, passion. And then Saturn is good, is highly like, I was gonna say linguistic. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, so somebody could speak multiple languages. Somebody could speak multiple languages. You might speak multiple languages. Or just understand things really well. You could be a coder. You could code for technology and obsessively do this out of power tripper stuff. What is that? Okay, so we're getting some good vibes off this Five of Cups upside down. The World card is also things coming to a close. Circle. It's over. Circles come to a close. And, you know, the Two of Wands. This man's holding a globe in his hand. How many times do we need to talk about the globe? The World card. A globe in his hand. But this is also giving power tripping, like dictator vibes, okay? With the Devil card. Two people shackled up. That's giving the opposite of shadow work too. When the Devil, well, it is upright here, so we're just going to take it as a, like, obsession. Upside down, I see the Devil card. It says, like, it says, almost looks like it says the deal, or the death, or the dead. Like when you look at it upside down, because when it comes upside down, it literally looks like it says the deal, or a deal. Look at it.